It's Gwynn Harrison, and Gwynn, it's all swimming all the time. I mean, you've got both sides of it, right?
Yes, I do. We started, this is our third year to have a men's program, so I have the men and the women.
So I asked the first two gentlemen about their careers. Yours was fairly decorated as a swimmer.
I guess you could use that term. I mean, I swam for a really good program, and it was well established before I got there, so I think I benefited from years of what they'd established, and you know, I enjoyed my time very much.
So you've been around the area per se a little bit more than just at Bridgewater. You had experience over at James Madison University, so you wouldn't walk from one school to the other, but it's not that far. Talk a little bit about, you know, taking over that program at the time that you were there.
Yeah, so I out of college, I got my master's for 2 years, and then I went back to my alma mater, Kenyon College, and coached there for 2 years. So and then really definitely on the heels of coming out of the Kenyon program, I was able to get a head job. I coached the women's team at JMU, and gosh, I was probably just like 26 years old when I got that job. And so I coached just the women's team. The programs were split at the time, and so I coached the team for 4 years, and then life kind of happens.
Now wait a minute. You guys were pretty good in those 4 years,
we were,
right?
Yeah, we won some CA championships.
Okay, I was gonna say, don't
Yeah.
slow roll
Well,
this.
I mean, I inherited a program, and the program had gotten third place the year before I got there, so it was definitely already a very solid program, and JMU is definitely a place that you can recruit to, and it's a very good profile for a recruiting swimmer.
So then life happens.
So life happens, yeah. So at that time, I had gotten married and wanted to start a family, and just didn't think that I could do both.
Always
things.
a dude's fault.
Yeah, and then I had two more dudes. So
There you go.
I have two sons. One's 16 now, and one's 14. So I was out of coaching for a number of years. I mostly focused on family, but been back now coaching for 4 years. So consider it a blessing that I've been able to do it again.
So I have to assume you never lost the desire.
I mean, I stay very much in touch with the sport, and you don't really, and you do it at the level and for as long as you have. And I have so many friends who are still involved with it at different levels, and certainly the program that I came from, the alumni network is really strong. So didn't ever get too far away from it.
All right, before we get into the Bridgewater program, you mentioned earlier about getting your master's. Now you were coaching at Bethany, getting your master's at West Virginia. They're not super close as I was looking on the map.
Right, it's about an hour and a half drive, and so I lived at Bethany, which is up in the panhandle of West Virginia, and drove. But there is a back road, so
There's always a back road in West Virginia.
And so I took that, and I went down to Morgantown. I guess I went down 3 times a week, but it was about 18-month process, and the summers were easier than the school year, but I was definitely glad that I had that opportunity to do both.
So what attracted you to the Bridgewater job? I'm sure proximity played a part in it.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of, I guess I'm a person of faith, and it, to me, it was just something that my children were of a certain age that they were able to, we were kind of, I was kind of past all the things that I wanted to do, primarily as a mom of, not past the things. I'm still, teenagers are a whole different breed. But just, the things with being the cub master and teaching Sunday school and things like that, they didn't need me on a daily basis as much as they did. And so it really was just a door that opened, and just feel really blessed to be able to walk through it. Time-wise, it couldn't have been better.
Starting a program.
Yeah. Yes, harder than I thought it would.
Daunting? Or did you not know?
The things that I thought would be hard they're just the things that I thought would be hard weren't necessarily. But it's definitely growing pains with it. But I think we're in a really good phase now where we have very good foundation. The thing with swimming is it's it's a very mental sport. It's the work ethic that you need to just grind it out for 19 weeks of the year is hard. And so finding that work ethic that you're able to expand to a large group of people, I mean, that's really where that's harder than what it seems.
It seems like a grind. I have a friend of mine, his daughter swims at Alabama, and she's freshman there, but looking at all the meets and all the things and all the time trials, good grief. I mean, how do these student athletes handle that? I mean, because a lot of that's not even connected to school.
Right. It is a grind. It's a mental. You have to be so internally focused to do it. I mean, if you think about swimming, it really is kind of silly that you just go up and down the black line for hours on end. So it has to have that very much internal motivation. Swimming is an individual sport, but it also, when it's done well, and what we really try to do at Bridgewater is take it to a high team level. So having people who are there with you and that are putting in that work and challenging each other, makes it worthwhile.
So I'm assuming, just like Denver was talking about with the development, I mean, it's not just, well, this is how fast you swim, that's how fast you'll always swim.
Right.
I'm assuming that there's also technique and other things that go on between a student's beginning at Bridgewater and by the time they're at the end, aimed to try to help them improve.
Yeah, so swimming's similar, I think in a lot of ways. We train a lot of the energy systems. It's a very scientific approach to the training, the certain amount of training, whether you're training the anaerobic system or the aerobic system, the power system, So in different times of the year, we're doing different kinds of things. I think we get a lot of swimmers that come into Bridgewater. That's the interesting thing about starting a program. We already had an established women's program. So having kids who've come in, who've been swimming since they were 5 years old, and then the first year I was at Bridgewater with the men's team, literally pulling kids from the campus and saying, yes, you need to put your face in the water, and teaching them flip turns and things like that. So, it's rewarding in a lot of ways to see the growth, but the challenge of getting a kid who's been swimming since they've been 5 years old, you've got to throw different things at them. And so I like to think outside of the box. Our strength and conditioning program with Coach Beach and Courtney is a lot of kids don't have that, especially sports specialized growing up or in their club programs necessarily. So I think that's a big bonus for us. In my in-between not coaching phase, I did a lot of stuff with Pilates and yoga and core strength and things like that that actually at the time when I had no idea I was going back into coaching, I was thinking, man, I wish I would have known that as a coach. And so I think we get a lot of improvement with that. Just really looking at the just physiology, just all the things that we need to do to become better.
I was going to say, I keep hearing more and more in sports these days how much nutrition plays into it and how much that's changed.
It's so important so important as a swimmer, because what you're putting in your body, it's the fuel that you need to put out. And that's changed a lot since that's something as an athlete myself I did not know enough about. And so that is something we talk a lot with them about, and also just taking care of them. So this is the time of year, I've got a cold myself, a lot of people, I had 2 people this week get tested for a strep, to see if they had strep. So, yeah, I don't think I had strep.
Okay,
but, just taking care of them. And that's a hard thing to do on a college campus. College campus isn't necessarily the most healthy place. And so having our student athletes that are thinking, above the level of just being a student, like what they need to do a lot of stuff outside of outside of the natural realm of what college kids are doing to just be healthy to do what we ask them to do.
So I'm going to make an assumption here, which is always dangerous. I'm assuming that swimming fans are in a way very similar to those that go out to track events, meaning that it is a family atmosphere, it has been life for these people, and for a lot of them, so much of it's on the road. So I have to imagine the camaraderie going on in the stands is something neat to see.
Yeah, our parents at Bridgewater are great. They travel really well. We always, even on a Friday afternoon, if we're somewhere, we were down in Lynchburg a couple weeks ago. I think the meet started at 5 on a Friday, and we have all kind of parents from all over that are making the trip. And our home meets, we get a good amount of people, and they're very supportive of the kids. So, yeah.
So again, this is a sport though that I don't think a lot of folks are exposed to.
Mhm.
As Denver said, yeah, see certain things on the Olympics. So, I mean, what's your suggestion for folks who might want to come out and say, hey, let's go to a swim meet, let's see what it's like? I mean, it's more than just, you know, I'm assuming it's just like a track meet. There's numerous teams there, and it's, you know, you need to have someone probably with you to say, this is what's happening right now, this is what's going on.
Well, swimming gets very popular every 4 years at the Olympics. I think it's one of the most, they do a very good job of marketing it, and we've had a lot of, usually USA does very well in swimming, and of course we've had some pretty high profile Olympians in the last number of years, but there actually is a new swimming professional league that just started this fall. So I think there are 4 American teams. There's one in DC, actually,
All right.
and one in New York, and then 2 in California. And then there's one in London, Rome, and Budapest. And so it's...
Those all sound like fun places to live.
Yeah, actually I have someone that I know from college is one of the assistant coaches for the Budapest team. So they're really trying to market it and make it a little bit more mainstream, and, you know, we say it's the funnest sport, so you should check it out.
We should check it out. That is Coach Gwynn Harrison. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.